So what's up with it? This is David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave, the founder of the highest paid part-time job in the world options trading course. And what we're going to talk about really quickly is, where is your leverage as an options trader? And I wanted to create this really quick video for people that, are aspiring options trader. They're in the options market. They're not having the success that they desire to have. And they're trying to kind of figure out where their points of leverage. And when we mean points of leverage, mean that if you apply energy or force to a particular area, where can you get the maximum amount of return, right? What's going on, Gregory? So we want to talk about where are your points of leverage. And we also want to kind of include an article I saw on the internet the other day about a Robinhood trader, a younger man who was trading options on Robinhood and found out that he was around, I think, $700 million in debt. At least that was stated to him. And as a result, he committed suicide. So we're going to include that into our particular discussion because it hits one of the points in which we're talking about. So what a lot of people do is they go into the options market, right? And because of the way information is presented to them, they think their point of leverage is going to be understanding how to do a bull put spread, or understanding how to do a synthetic option, or they think understanding how to do some type of complicated option setup, right? And they think that's going to be their points of leverage. And what happens is they go and study these particular areas, they employ the tactic, and they still don't have the success they desire. Then they go learn this new trading strategy from this guy over here, right? And they study that tactic, they employ it, and they still don't have the success that they desire. And what they really don't understand is, because this doesn't give a lot of people anything to sell, is that your real points of leverage are going to be two things. So we're going to go into the first thing. The first thing is going to be understanding crowd or group psychology. So the other day I posted on my Facebook page a book called The Crowd, right, by a French guy named Gustave. And he talked about, the book is really about how crowds react, and understanding that when people get into a crowd and they amass into a group, their psychology and their behavior starts to change. As a result, it changes in comparison to what they would do if they were individuals. So we understand that a lot of times when people amass into a group, they take on a different behavior pattern. They're influenced differently than they were if they were by themselves. You got to understand, when we're looking at the market, we're really looking at groups of people, right? When you're looking at volume on a particular ticker, you're looking at a group of people. And you got to really understand that. So the way people conduct themselves in groups is going to be very important, because once you understand that, then you start to understand what are one of your points of leverage. So I would encourage you as an options trader to really study group psychology and start observing how you conduct yourself when you're in the market of a particular company, right? How are you conducting yourself? Because you're also going to be influenced by what other people are doing around you. And they don't have to be with you physically. You can just be observing what they're doing on the internet. This is why some traders, they don't consume any outside information. They make their trades in isolation because their attitude is that I don't want to be influenced by what other people are doing. And that strategy works for them. So really start looking at understanding group psychology. So a really good book to understand that is a book called The Crowd. You can buy it on Amazon for probably under $50. You could probably even get it less as a used book, and start to really understand how crowds conduct themselves, right? The second thing you want to look at is your own personal psychology. One of the things that you have to understand is that you have a certain amount of psychological challenges that you're carrying with you right now, right? When you go into the market, you carry all those psychological challenges with you. The market does not create any of these psychological issues. What it does is put you in a position where they're all brought to the forefront, because the market can put you under a lot of euphoria, but it also can put you under a lot of stress. And so what you saw happen with that young man is that he already has psychological issues. And then him thinking that he was in debt of $700 million, that was a trigger point to push him over the cliff, right? But it wasn't about that situation. The market didn't do that to him. He already had that going on in his life. So one of the biggest ways to create leverage as a trader, which a lot of these guys, quote unquote gurus, don't talk about because it doesn't leave them with anything to sell to you, is that really start working on your own personal psychology. What makes you tick? What are some of the things that trigger you? What are some of the things that create anxiety in your life that have nothing to do with the market? Because we want you to understand who you are as a person. You're going to bring that into the market. The market doesn't create any of this stuff from you. So if you are dealing with challenges in your life that are affecting your psychology, affecting your personality, making you anxious, creating euphoria, if you're seeking euphoria, if you're seeking an escape, you're going to bring that into the market. And then what happens is the market is going to manipulate those against you, because the market is not your friend, right? It's not necessarily on your side. You have to figure out how to become successful with a lot of different things in opposition to you, right? But the biggest thing in opposition to you is going to be your own brain. So what I would encourage you to do is really start to try to figure out how you can deal with your own psychology. One of my goals as a trader is to get a relationship with a therapist, to where I'm dealing with this therapist on a regular basis, to where I know that my psychological game is on point, because I understand now that's really my leverage point, right? It's not trying to learn a new strategy or learning a new trading system. It's really my own psychology. So my goal is to be able to generate enough revenue to where I can now go develop a relationship with a therapist so we can really work and make my psychology and make my mindset bulletproof, because I understand now that's why I'm going to create the most amount of leverage for myself. And then as a result, that's why I'm going to have the most amount of success. And then as a result, that's how I'm going to get the life that I desire. So if you know somebody that can get value from this video, I would encourage you to share it out. If you have any questions, hit me up in the questions. What's going on, Mario? This is David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave, and I'll talk to you later.